You ever watch a movie that's supposed to be fun for the whole family, just good entertainment, and then boom, out of nowhere, drops a scene or a sequence that comes straight out of a horror movie nightmare and sticks with you for decades? Now, I'm not talking about straight up horror movies in this situation. I'm talking about normal movies with scenes that are somehow way scarier than they should be or have any right to be. So today we are counting down 10 of the scariest scenes from non-horror movies that still give you chills. The ones that messed you up and stuck in your head forever. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. Alright, so 10 of the scariest scenes in non-horror movies. Now, this list could literally go on and on forever, so maybe I'll do more and just drop it in the comments if I didn't put one that stuck out in your head. But here we're going to start out with number 10 and the Gmork scene from the NeverEnding story. 1 minute you're watching this sort of crazy, sort of surreal fantasy film that turns into dark fantasy on a dime. It's colorful, and then boom, the nothing hits, and suddenly there is a snarling, pitch black, wolf-like kind of werewolf creature that shows up in the dark with glowing eyes and a monologue about how everything and everyone is going to die. The voice, those eyes in the darkness, just the pure nihilism coming out of this thing. It's the kind of moment in the movie that took it to a whole different level of nightmare territory. If you saw this in the theater as a kid like I did, or on VHS in repeated viewings, you know exactly what I mean. One moment you're flying on a luck dragon, the next minute you're hiding from those eyes that are piercing the darkness. So the Gmork scene from the NeverEnding story comes in at number 10. Now at number 9, we got one that's a little bit different. This is the storming the beach scenes, taking Omaha Beach in Saving Private Ryan. Spielberg does not hold back on this. This thing is super intense. It feels like you were there, like it's really happening. You're dropped right into the middle of the most realistic war footage ever put on screen. The sound, the bullets whizzing by, hitting water, guys screaming, guys crying, explosions happening. It's not a horror movie at all, but that opening like 25 minutes of this movie feels like pure terror that you can't wipe away because it is completely real. It's the kind of scene that makes your stomach drop because you can't just wash it away as movie fantasy. You're not watching a movie anymore. You're there. So the taking of Omaha Beach comes in at number 9. And at number 8, we go to animation, and very old animation, for The Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia. Disney animation from 1940. Supposed to be a fun classical music trip until Chernabog rises up on the mountain, basically the devil himself summoning demons and ghosts in a wild, fiery dance that is pure nightmare fuel. The music, the shadows, the pure evil energy coming off that demon in this sequence. I remember being a kid watching this thinking, wait a minute, this looks like it belongs in Scooby-Doo or worse. And it still feels like a nightmare fever dream. A Night on Bald Mountain comes in at number 8. Now, number 7 is in one of my favorite movies, but this still makes me cringe to this day. It's Judge Doom's reveal and his death sequence in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That whole sequence right there is just next level scary. Christopher Lloyd plays this straight-laced judge the whole movie, then he rips off the facade, which is basically a rubber mask, and you realize he is a toon and a psycho crazy evil cartoon. The eyes, again, that eventually turn this fiery red and then poke out like daggers. The voice change, this high-pitched demon evil squeal that he has, and then he melts away screaming after he gets ran over, so he is definitely kind of put through the ringer, and you go through it with him because this thing is creepy and he just keeps coming back. This is a kid's movie with a lot of cartoon laughs, but it is very adult in very many ways, and they went full on nightmare-inducing imagery with this whole sequence. The scene broke a lot of kids that were young when they saw it, and I still remember it. It is worse to me than the dip scene in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Judge Doom coming in at number 7. And at number 6, we go to one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite trilogies. This may be my least favorite movie in one of my favorite trilogies ever, and it is the heart removal ritual in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You're watching this big indie adventure, and this thing turns dark pretty early on. All kinds of bug and snake eating and animals and bats and creepy crawlies all over the place. But then we get really PG-13, literally helped invent PG-13 with this cult that is ripping out still beating hearts of people and then lowering them down into fire. This guy's chest is being, reached into while he is screaming, the chanting, the glowing heart, the guy just standing there alive, waiting for himself to be dropped into this like lava fire pit. It's brutal. It is really too strong for PG, which helped bring that PG-13 rating, and it helped us realize that even fun adventure Spielberg movies could get really, really dark. And sticking with Spielberg, we go to number 5 with the T-Rex escape in Jurassic Park. Now, I kind of lump two different scenes in this movie in my head because the T-Rex scene is super intense, iconic, and scary, but the scene in the kitchen with the raptors is just as bad. But for this one, we're going to go to the T-Rex escape because you've got all this rain and atmosphere that's coming down. It's pouring. There's lightning flashes. The goat is yanked off the screen and then his leg drops in out of nowhere, blood and all. And this movie takes a whole other turn. And then the giant footsteps, and you see the puddle rippling. You see the glass of water rippling. And it's basically, it might as well be Jason or Michael Myers music hitting because you know something is coming. And then Spielberg, right in that moment, turns this theme park movie into pure primal terror and horror for about 3 or 4 minutes, and he does not let you go. Even though it's dinosaurs, the sequence still feels like something straight out of a horror movie with a predator stalking its innocent victims. Jurassic Park T-Rex escape comes in at number 5. Now at number 4, we go to one that is completely bizarre. The whole movie is bizarre, but this sequence is just creepy. It is the tunnel scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You've got Gene Wilder playing Willy Wonka, and he takes the kids on an innocent boat ride. First of all, this whole movie is filled with creepy, scary things that are happening to kids in this weird sort of universe inside Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. But when they're on this boat ride and the lights go red and the music gets kind of psychotic, and then Willy Wonka starts whispering this creepy poetry that it feels like doom and gloom and freaks everyone out. It's a children's movie, supposedly, but a children's movie with a sequence or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 that are completely unhinged and creepy. We all remember the first time we saw that. It's like, what the hell is happening? These kids are going to get offed in this thing. It is all over the place, flashing lights. It's like you're in a waking nightmare, and maybe that's the point. And that's why the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory comes in at number 4. Now at number 3, I'm going to go off the board a little bit with some David Lynch and The Lost Highway, and particularly the scene where the mystery man presents himself at the party. And David Lynch does what David Lynch does best. I've often said, if you watch any of his movies, anything of his, if you look hard enough, you will find the devil himself in every one of his movies. And in this one right here, it's might as well be a big flashing light that you are encountering old Lucifer himself, played by Robert Blake, who walks up to Bill Pullman at a party, stares straight into his soul. He's got like this white face and no eyebrows, and casually tells him he's also at his house right now. And then he has this, while being on the phone with him, and then he has this evil, diabolical, wicked laugh. That dead stare, the voice, everything. It is pure psychological dread in a movie that is not even classified as horror, but it might as well be. There is no question in that moment, and as this movie goes, who Robert Blake's mystery character is really supposed to be. No questions, and it is creepy when he shows up. The laugh, the look, all of it. If you haven't seen it, check out The Lost Highway. And at number 2, we're going Indiana Jones again. This time, Raiders of the Lost Ark for the epic ark opening, face melting, magic sequence in here. You've been on this fun adventure with Indy the first time ever when you watch Raiders, the whole movie, and then they open up the ark and God himself basically melts all the bad guys' faces off in the most graphic way possible for 1981. There was nothing soft about it. It's creepy. It's scary. It looks straight out of any horror movie that you have ever seen. The eyes exploding, the skin peeling off. Spielberg again. He went there because he likes that little creepiness underneath there. I mean, he actually recently just said he wants to make a horror movie, a straight-on horror movie before he stops making films. And that doesn't even count Jaws. He went there. This scene, though, explosive, creepy, screaming, the effects, souls and power floating everywhere. It's got everything you want from a horror movie, except it is Indiana Jones and this big adventure in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The face melt scene comes in at number 2. And at number 1, this is one that if you haven't seen it, run. Do not walk to watch Fire in the Sky. And I'm specifically talking about the alien abduction scene. Thinking about it, this thing is so realistic, so scary the way it's done. It is like the Mount Rushmore of alien abduction scenes in movies, but what makes it even creepier is it up horror film. Definitely near the top. Like I said, I could probably do a lot more of these if I really thought about it, but all of these came to mind real quick when I decided to do this list, and the alien abduction scene in Fire in the Sky jumped right to the top instantly. So for that reason, it's number 1. So there you have it. 10 scenes from movies that are scary as hell, and they didn't even come from horror movies, at least not officially horror movies. These are the moments that prove that sometimes the stuff that gets spooky and sticks with you comes from the places you least expect it. So let me know, what are some of the scariest scenes that you've seen in movies that aren't traditional horror films? Maybe I will do another list and I'll keep digging down there and talk to you about it. I really do enjoy it. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you want to help support what we're doing here a little bit more, you can join my Patreon. The link is in the description. There you'll find more videos, special members only videos, behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, and so much more. And of course, you get your name and lights on every single video, and I really do appreciate it. We are jamming with halfway to Halloween right now on my channel, but we do all kinds of movies, essays, deep dives, and so much more here. Lots of recommendations, and I just love talking movies with you. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. It's Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.